Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Dungeons & Dragons Stranger Things role-playing game starter set, the Wizards of the Coast logo on the back of that product, the Hasbro gaming logo on the back of that product, and Steere House Oscar. Alright, so let's get rolling. So who is Steere House Oscar? Well, that is an incredible tale. I'm about to tell you a tale, and this tale is two things. It is true, and it is creepy, all right? And if you doubt the veracity of anything I'm about to say, you can find it corroborated in the New England Journal of Medicine and in the New York Times. So let me tell you the tale of Steere House Oscar, all right? All right, so Rhode Island has a nursing home called Steere House. It is the Steere House Nursing Home. In the year 2005, a litter of 6 kittens was brought to Steere House Nursing Home. One of those cats is named Oscar. Oscar, Steere House Oscar, okay, he would grow from a kitten in 2005 to an adult cat in 2007. In 2007, Steere House Oscar began doing something very, very surprising. He began predicting the death of patients there at the nursing home, okay? So what he would do is he would, there's like different floors, and he would go around to the different floors, and basically he would start by craning his neck, all right? Craning his neck around one of the patients. He might do this for a day or two, and then at some point he would come and he would lay down, he would curl up next to the patient, and within a few hours that patient would die, okay? The doctor, this cat was so predictive in doing this that the doctors got to the point where they would just call in the family for, the final, they would say, hey, if you want to see your relative for one last visit, you better get in here quick, right? It was also so predictive that the cat is now being studied to create an algorithm for computers on how it actually does this thing it does, right? So Steere House Oscar is a death-predicting cat, a cat that predicts the death of human beings, right? That, like I said, totally true, totally creepy, right? Like, okay, so why am I talking about Steere House Oscar in a Dungeons & Dragons video, right? Well, I'm about to tell you. All right. Steere House Oscar found his way onto the Dungeons & Dragons starter, Stranger Things role-playing game starter set. Okay, so if you pick up the red box, the new red box starter set, which is the Dungeons & Dragons, officially licensed Dungeons & Dragons, officially licensed Stranger Things role-playing game starter set, if you turn that sucker over, on the back you will find 3 amazing logos. First is the Netflix logo. Next is Wizards of the Coast logo. And last is the Hasbro gaming logo. Today we're going to talk about the Wizards of the Coast logo and the Hasbro gaming logo. Okay? So Wizards of the Coast is the Wizards. So the Wizards of the Coast logo denotes Wizards of the Coast, the company that bought Dungeons & Dragons in 1997. Wizards of the Coast held Dungeons & Dragons for 2 years, 1997 to 1999. In 1999, September 1999, Wizards of the Coast was purchased by Hasbro for $325 million. Probably one of the best deals ever made, right, for an American intellectual property. All right, not from the perspective of the money D&D has made. I'm not sure they've even made all that money back. Well, you know what? They also got Magic the Gathering in there, so they definitely made their money back. All right, so here's the thing. So Wizards of the Coast held the Dungeons & Dragons property for 2 years, right? Then it was purchased by Hasbro, and Hasbro has held that Dungeons & Dragons for, in September of this year, it will be 20 years. So it's been 19 years so far, and Hasbro will have held Dungeons & Dragons for 20 solid years in the September of this year, right? So that's pretty incredible. That is a long time under Hasbro. So here's the point of this video. The Hasbro gaming logo sit on the Dungeons & Dragons Stranger Things role-playing game starter set. The Hasbro gaming logo sits next to the Wizards of the Coast logo, right? And what that is, that Hasbro gaming logo, that is Steere House Oscar. That logo, that Hasbro gaming logo, is predicting the death of Wizards of the Coast, in my opinion. All right. Now, I think you're like saying, what? You know, why would Hasbro get rid of Wizards of the Coast, right? Now, I'm not saying they're going to sell them. They are absolutely, I think Hasbro, so this is my prediction, right? I think that what's going to happen is Hasbro is going to keep Dungeons & Dragons, keep Magic the Gathering, keep every single thing that is owned by Wizards of the Coast, but they are going to lose the Wizards of the Coast branding on the majority of their products, and they are going to stop using the Wizards of the Coast brand. And the reason why is that Wizards of the Coast logo and the Wizards of the Coast brand serves absolutely zero function today. Now, that was not the case in 1999, right? But today, in 2019, yes, it absolutely serves no purpose. So let me explain why. So what purpose did the Wizards of the Coast logo serve in 1999? Well, when Wizards of the Coast purchased Dungeons & Dragons, when Hasbro purchased Dungeons & Dragons from Wizards of the Coast, right? People were worried. They were like, wait. You're telling me that a toy company that owns My Little Pony and Transformers just bought Dungeons & Dragons? And people got a little upset, right? They were like, whoa. Dungeons & Dragons is not a toy, right? Dungeons & Dragons is an iconic American cultural art vector, right? Like, this ain't a toy. This isn't My Little Pony, right? Like, this isn't Transformers. This is important. This is Dungeons & Dragons, right? Like, Dungeons & Dragons is equal to, you know, baseball, jazz, you know, important American iconic activities, right? Super important, right? So people were upset and they were worried, right? And Hasbro was like, and so by keeping the Wizards of the Coast logo in 1999, Hasbro was communicating saying, listen, we own this company, we own Wizards of the Coast, and we own Dungeons & Dragons, but you don't need to worry. You're going to get good products from us because we're going to keep the team intact, right? We're going to keep the best designers, the best writers, and the best artists, right? And you can just, you know, calm down. Yes, Dungeons & Dragons is now owned by a toy company, but we bought Wizards of the Coast to do their Wizards of the Coast thing, right? To, you know, and we don't want to kill the golden goose that we just purchased, right? So everybody just calm down. We're going to let Wizards of the Coast do its thing, right? Well, now, why is that different in 2019? Well, now, in 2019, things are very different, okay? And that is, Wizards of the Coast has held Dungeons & Dragons for 20 years, right? And they have put the naysayers to rest, in my opinion, all right? Now, let's talk it through, all right? Two versions, okay? So, D&D 1E was held by TSR. TSR was purchased by Wizards of the Coast in 1997 for $25 million. By the way, yeah, for $25 million. Okay, so you have that there, and that was 1E was the edition created under 1E and 2E. Dungeons & Dragons were created under Wizards of the Coast. Okay, now when Wizards of the Coast purchased Dungeons & Dragons, when Wizards of the Coast purchased Dungeons & Dragons, they had it as second edition, okay? Then they sold it to Hasbro, and Hasbro created third edition, all right? Third edition was an absolute unmitigated success. It went through the roof, okay? Dungeons & Dragons 3rd Edition sold like hotcakes. People absolutely loved it. And it created the open gaming license, right? And not only did D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, get more healthy under, and I'm not, this isn't debatable, right? TSR almost ran it into the ground. They almost, at one point, TSR had 600 employees for Dungeons and Dragons, and they were like a hair's breadth from being bankrupt, okay? All right, so, you know, and then Wizards of the Coast bought them, stabilized things, and then they sold it to Hasbro, okay? Hasbro came in, and they created 3rd edition. 3rd edition was not only a success for Dungeons & Dragons, it was a success for the entire tabletop role-playing game industry, because what Dungeons & Dragons did is they said, hey, all you chump, you know, tiny indie companies, you can make real, excuse me, you can make D20 product. You can make official Dungeons & Dragons adventures, settings, all of it. Go to town, right? And it was truly a rising tide floating all boats. 3rd edition floated, you know, rose Dungeons & Dragons. 3rd edition also rose the entire tabletop industry. They allowed companies to create these Dungeons & Dragons adventures, which they could sell, get some money in their pocket, and then make their own independent games, right? Or make their own independent games. So it helped the entire industry. 3rd edition was an unmitigated success, okay? 4th edition was an unmitigated failure, okay? I'm a huge fan of 4th edition. I love the rules design, but the part that nobody can debate is 4th edition absolutely sundered the Dungeons & Dragons community, and half the Dungeons & Dragons community just walked away from the game, okay? 4th edition was a bad, it was bad. It was from 2008 to 2014, right? And for those 6 years, Dungeons & Dragons was in trouble, okay? And there's no question, 4th edition was a major failure, okay? All right, because no product wants to sunder their community in half, and that's what 4th edition did. That's not debatable. You can debate whether the rules were good or not, but it's not debatable that it absolutely sundered the community, okay? All right, 5th edition, absolute rockstar edition, the best edition. I really think it is the best edition of Dungeons & Dragons. I love 1st edition because it was written by Gary Gygax, and, you know, but I really think Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is absolutely the best edition of the game that has ever existed. And 5th edition has done things that no edition of the game has ever done, okay? So in 20 years, Hasbro, right, Wizards of the Coast did 3 Wizards of the Coast under Hasbro did 3 editions, and Hasbro has fully protected and been a trustworthy guardian of Dungeons & Dragons every step of the way, including 4th edition, right? Now, why do I not have beef with Hasbro for what happened with 4th edition? Well, here's the thing. Great companies fail, period, right? Like, you look at Google, right? Google Buzz, Google Glass, right? These were failures. Google Plus, right? These are failures. Great companies fail because they try great things. Same thing with Wizards of the Coast. Same thing with Hasbro, okay? With Wizards of the Coast under Hasbro. Wizards of the Hasbro, right? Right? Wizards of the Hasbro, they are, you know, they 4th edition failed because they were trying to do great things with the product. And when they saw that they had a problem, they only let it live for six years, which is kind of a long time. They should have shut down a little more than that. These large companies, Hasbro is a global company, and they take some time to get stuff fixed, right? But they fixed it, right? Mike Mearls, they had Mike Mearls in place. Mike Mearls is an absolute rock star tabletop role-playing game designer. He is second only to Gary Gygax as far as Dungeons & Dragons designers, and he delivered, right? So, here's the thing. Hasbro has held Dungeons & Dragons for 20 years, and they have proved, without a doubt, they are a trustworthy guardian of Dungeons & Dragons. And so with that, I think that, you know, now we've reached a point where, what are you getting for holding the brand of Wizards of the Coast? Hasbro's doing all the work. Hasbro has nurtured this game for a longer period of time than any other company, right? Hasbro has been a better guardian than TSR, and Hasbro has been a better guardian than Wizards of the Coast was. Hasbro is the guardian. It is the nurturing parent of Dungeons & Dragons. It has proven that it loves the game, it protects the game, and it treats the game well, right? And so at this point, there is absolutely some very good reasons to get with it. So I think putting the Hasbro Gaming logo on the back of this product, which is a historically important product, right? Because of that Netflix logo, right? By putting the Hasbro Gaming logo on there, they are getting people ready to understand Dungeons & Dragons as a Hasbro product, not a Wizards of the Coast product. And there's a really good reason to do this. Wizards of the Coast was a flash in the pan, right? They did Magic the Gathering 1993, and they got D&D in 1997. That whole company only really did anything of significance between 1993 and 1999. That's 6 years. That is not even a third of the time that, 1/3 of the time that Hasbro has owned Dungeons & Dragons. So Dungeons & Dragons has done more with Dungeons & Dragons than TSR ever did and Wizards of the Coast did, right? And now Wizards of the Coast really needs to be shut down as a brand for Hasbro. And the reason why is Hasbro wants that shine. Hasbro wants that shine of having this super cool, super awesome art vector that Dungeons & Dragons is, right? This wonderful game, this world-spanning game, this historically important game, this game that changes politics and culture and society in America and in the world. Hasbro's like, hey, let's attach that to our name. Who cares about Wizards of the Coast, some jank company that was around for 6 years, right? Now, I'm a huge fan of Magic the Gathering. I'm a huge fan of D&D. I love that Wizards of the Coast was there. I think it's important that they did what they did. But they did a dump and run, right? They created those products, and then they cashed out. Hey, all's well. You know, I ain't throwing no shade at you, right? But the reality is, Wizards of the Coast name does not need to... It serves no function at this point. All it's doing is taking shine away from Hasbro, which at this point, with 2 decades of service to the game of Dungeons & Dragons, has fully proven that it deserves all of the shine of the game. So it is my prediction, as Scott Garibay, saying that the Hasbro Gaming logo on the back of the Dungeons & Dragons Stranger Things role-playing game starter set, right, sitting next to the Wizards of the Coast logo, is the Steere House Oscar cat saying, oh, hey, hello, you about to die, right? That's exactly what's happening, right? And I really think that the Hasbro Gaming logo there, it is the Steere House Oscar cat, right? And Wizards of the Coast, the brand, in my opinion, is going to start to die right now. I think the death has already started, right? Because Hasbro's figured out there is no reason in the world to give shine to Wizards of the Coast. The last thing I'll say is when you give shine to Wizards of the Coast, you give shine to Richard Garfield. And let me tell you one last reason why Hasbro is not super happy about giving shine to Richard Garfield. So Magic the Gathering is a massive, absolutely massive cash cow, right? For Hasbro, right? But Richard Garfield just came hunting for the game he created. Keyforge was built to stab. Keyforge was absolutely built to stab Magic the Gathering in the heart. So again, all that shine needs to go to Hasbro. That's my thought. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.